So that's the direction you want to put it on. And throw it around a little bit, why not? Hello. This time on CrashTestDummyTV. Hello all. Time to do master cylinder. I got another one. Now with these old bikes, it is better if you rebuild things. When things break, you want to rebuild them. Buying new parts for these, obviously for a 35-year-old bike, is a little hard. There are out there though. There are some out there. Very rare, and you probably pray for the nose. Now, what I am doing, just get into the point, swap everything over. Right, you just hang about there. Although, I need to plug up that hole and take him off. Oh, come on. Side cutters usually work easier. They grab on better. But I grab pliers instead. Right, it's him off. It's actually off my ZXR. Thought it might fit, but it didn't in the end. Don't fall over because I don't want all the oil going everywhere. That'll do. Don't move. Right. Important to clean up as you go, especially because it's brake fluid eats paint, so you don't want that. Now I cleaned this totally, so I'm going to put a bit of grease in here. Doesn't matter what grease you use, as long as it's grease. This one is CV joint grease from memory, but it doesn't matter because it will work. It's only turning very slightly, but hey, old bike, you want to keep it lubed. Get rid of excess. Right, now get the pin on first. Which way am I going? Yeah, I was about to get that wrong. Now what the factory does is they put the pin, so when the pin comes out it'll hit the body of that alloy mount and not come out any further. So that's the direction you want to put it on. And throw it around a little bit, why not? Where'd my pin go? Oh, there. Thank you. Now I added a washer. Take out a bit of the slop. Old bike has slop. Thing here. Just roughly put everything on. Have it all loose, just to make sure you're doing everything correct. First of all, a lot of the time on clamps, it's a lot easier to use a, ooh, that was leaking there. How do I know? Because that's what brake fluid does. See how that's peeled off? That's what brake fluid does when it gets on paint, so you've got to be careful. Alright, now spring is down there. Oh, that's a return spring. Shoot, I need a return spring. Yeah, damn it. Go to my trusty box of springs. Where's my box of springs? Alright, it's not a box, it's a container. Deal with it. Now, what can I use? Perhaps that one. So, I'll use that. Cut it, rebend it. Alright, how long do I need? Might leave that till later. Just cause. Make sure everything works first. A friend of my brother's, long-time friend, has a policy that he won't put a car back together unless he can do every single nut, bolt, screw, everything right up to the very end with his fingers. If he can't do it anymore, can't do that, he takes the bolt off and he cleans it and oils it and makes sure it goes on properly, which is not a bad thing to do. So if you're that fussy, do that. Now I want that a little bit lower, not too low. It's too high. Yeah, about there kinda. Alright, we're done. Alright, hang with me, because in part 2 we're going to bleed the brakes. Cool, see you in a bit. Alright, we have our Motul brake fluid. Don't know what I'm using, but the amount of times I change brake fluid does not matter. All gets bled through. Now, bleeder bottle, if it was together. Very easy to make these, just a tube coming out of a lid, bit of wire to hang it on something, and that's it. That's all it is. Alright, obviously first of all, fill up your reservoir. Watching you do not spill any. And start pumping. Not hard, just soft. Some master cylinders, more so cars, I've seen a little funnel come out the top, so you got to watch it. And there are people out there that would pull off the joiner here, let it gravity feed down, etc., etc. I don't. I just persevere. Combination of the lock open and closed. It'll eventually start coming through. Lots of bubbles. Yep, starting to feel some pressure. Oh, that's a really good pedal already. You really want to flush through it heaps if you can. I need to get rid of any crap. I did notice a little bit of dust down the down one of the channels, so you want to really flush through all the rubbish, all the junk. See, it's not a bubble, that's that jet I was telling you about. So you got to watch it. You don't want that to spill over and splash and ruin your paint job. Alright, top it up to your max line. Now before you put the cap on, sometimes, not all the time, you want to actually push these in, because it's kind of how they're designed as far as it builds up pressure. You don't want to stuff it, but yeah, not all of them. I don't know about this one actually, it doesn't push in nicely. But anyway, it creates a suction seal type doobie. Alright, guess what?
What?
They have brakes. Make sure your nipple's tight, because you know you don't want loose nipples. Now, that is tight. All those are tight. That's tight. Cool. Everything's done, everything's tight. Time to clean up the tools, clean up the mess. I can't say test ride it because it won't run properly yet. I'm going to balance the carbies. But it's all done. Just got to make sure all the crap's off it as I dribble down, remember? Water. If you do spill any brake fluid, water is a good one. I've got some brake fluid there. You can go there somewhere. That'll do. Now I need water. Right. Still a good pedal. Cover on. Alright, yibbida. Job done. Does it? Does it do it? Oh, of course not. Spring. Why isn't my brake light working? I've got to adjust my brake light. Pop it. Pop it. Anyway, it's working. Cool. That's just quickly brakes. I mean, that's a master cylinder. Basically, that's the piston. That's the in. Sorry, that's the in and that's the out. Now, most common leaking points are just under here. And if you can see in there, you'll see all the rust. So, yeah, brake fluid does attract water. But this being a dust cover, if it gets water in there, obviously it's going to stay in there for a little bit. So, yeah. But hey, keep your old parts, because if this fails me, you can buy rebuild kits. And what I could do is give that to a mechanic, because I couldn't figure out how to get this apart down the bottom here. So I could give this to him and he can either rebuild this or rebuild that. But either way, in the end, I've got a spare part that I can always resell on eBay or whichever. Cool. So don't throw out your old bits. If not, you sell it with the bike and the next person has that option, as well as they know the history. They know you rebuilt this roughly about then. They know you know, what they did, what you did, sorry. Oh, pardon me. Yeah, cool. All right, thanks for joining. Brakes, very important. Don't forget to check yours. And if you do not know what you're doing, get someone who does know what they're doing, or take it to a bike shop. There is no shame in getting someone to work on your bike, as long as it operates properly and, most importantly, obviously pulls up. It stops, it's got to stop. Groovy. Ride safe out there all, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye. Just quickly, if you do have to adjust your brake light, it's just a spring on the end of a pull switch. Very simple, but you'll notice the thread and the plastic body that sits on the metal bracket is the threaded bit, so it can be a little bit of a mucking about to get to, but you've got to turn the body, but not too far obviously, to twist up all the wiring. So you'll figure out that that plastic threaded body bit, you've got to thread that through. Like I say, it can be a bit of mucking around, just the space you've got to work with. But anyway, I'm going to do it and show you in the end. Worst case, you unplug your brake light and then you can twist away to your heart's content and then untwist it in the end. Still no brake light. Alright, I've got to figure this out. Damn it. Fix one thing, another thing stuffs up. Alrighties. Thanks again for joining. Ta-ta for now.